A family once thriving suddenly fell into decline in just a few short years. And it all began in the kitchen, a space that seemed to serve no purpose other than daily cooking. The strange part: there was no major crisis, no conflict, no business failure. Just a quiet chain of small changes, so subtle that no one even noticed, until money slowly began to vanish, slipping away like vapor. That story has startled many people, because in Feng Shui, the kitchen is considered the heart of a home's energy. When this heart is bright, clean, and well ventilated, the household tends to be peaceful, and wealth flows steadily like a cool, gentle stream. But when the energy in the kitchen becomes heavy, stagnant, or chaotic, its impact spreads to every corner of the house. Emotions grow unstable, spending becomes erratic, financial luck gets blocked, and prosperity begins to fade away. Changes that seem harmless, an item placed in the wrong spot, an object left untouched for too long, or even an unpleasant smell, can either open the door to a prosperous period or pull the whole family into a stretch of gloom and hardship. So what exactly makes one kitchen a source of thriving energy, while another unknowingly becomes a leak where fortune slips through? In this video, 6 key signs will be revealed, step by step. And by paying attention to just these specific points, the energy in your home can shift in a completely new direction. Before we begin, take a moment to set the tone by declaring a positive affirmation to welcome energy into your space. My home welcomes wealth. And if you would like to keep exploring the hidden mysteries of Feng Shui and the energy of your home, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single secret waiting to be uncovered. And now, as the door to this story swings open, we begin the journey into the 6 important signs that separate a kitchen that nurtures wealth from one that quietly drains a family's fortune. Number 1. Eliminate bad odors in the kitchen. In Feng Shui, the scent in a kitchen is more than just something the nose picks up. It is a trace of the energy that lingers in the space. Every smell, pleasant or unpleasant, carries a type of energy. When the kitchen starts to give off the smell of garbage, fermented food, or lingering cooking grease, that is when positive energy begins to weaken, making room for heavier, stagnant energy to settle in. These heavy layers of energy move slowly, too slow to be seen, yet fast enough to immediately affect the part of the brain responsible for emotions. The person cooking may suddenly feel tired, uneasy, or unable to focus, without realizing that all that discomfort comes from a faint, nearly invisible smell that is extremely powerful on an energetic level. This often happens in silence. It might start with a light sour scent from an unsealed trash bag, a thin layer of grease left at the bottom of a pan, or a container of leftovers pushed to the back of the fridge. Over time, these smells build up into a kind of invisible energy smog that clings to the kitchen space. Then one day, someone steps into the kitchen and feels a dip in their mood without knowing why. A meal that should be simple starts to feel like a burden. Cooking becomes a rushed, impatient task. In Feng Shui, this is a clear sign of stagnant negative energy, the kind that cannot be seen or touched, but has the power to shift behaviors, spending habits, and the emotional harmony of the household. The most dangerous part: the human brain gets used to smells after just a few hours, so the homeowner no longer notices that there is a problem. Yet the negative energy continues to linger, steadily lowering the vibrational frequency of the entire home. That familiarization of the nose makes people overlook one of the most important signs of energy blockage. Luckily, keeping the kitchen odor-free is simple if done regularly. A trash bin with a tightly sealed lid is not just a piece of furniture. It is a Feng Shui shield that keeps negative energy from escaping. Every time the lid closes, the heavy energy gets trapped inside instead of spreading throughout the house. Tying the trash bag tightly before placing it in the bin can reduce up to 90% of the release of damp smells, some of the heaviest and most disruptive types of energy. Kitchens that are used frequently for cooking should have a range hood or an odor control system to keep the air fresh. But even without fancy equipment, something as basic as a small box of baking soda placed near the stove or in the fridge can absorb lingering grease smells and noticeably lighten the air. Here is a small but powerful trick. If you cannot take out the trash right away, seal the bag and temporarily place it in the freezer. When frozen, leftover food stops decomposing, the smell is locked in completely, and the kitchen remains unaffected. A simple yet highly effective tip for preserving positive energy. Number 2. Create a space where multiple people can cook together. In Feng Shui, few symbols of prosperity are more powerful than a kitchen filled with people. It is not about the number of people, but the kind of energy created when humans gather around a warm fire. When 2 or 3 people are washing vegetables, prepping food, chatting, or quietly laughing while waiting for something to finish cooking, the yang energy created from that connection spreads more powerfully than any Feng Shui ornament, charm, or lucky symbol. Ancient wisdom calls this energy gathered from human presence. Yang energy generated by warmth, interaction, harmony, and the simple joy of doing something together. In many fortunate households, just stepping into the kitchen while a group is cooking makes the space feel warmer, almost as if an invisible light is spreading, brightening even the corners of cabinets and countertops. The most remarkable thing is, a kitchen does not need to be big to create this kind of atmosphere. Size does not determine energy, flow does. All it takes is a clean floor, no plastic bags thrown carelessly by the table legs, no baskets blocking walkways, no boxes stacked temporarily in the corner. Once these things are cleared, the kitchen space immediately opens up. When several people are preparing a meal together, the kitchen becomes a container of vibrant energy waves. The sound of a knife against a cutting board, running water, pots and pans clinking, soft conversations. All of it blends into a warm current that spreads through the entire house. Homes that hold this kind of energy always feel alive, lived in, and breathing. In Feng Shui, this is the sign of prosperous energy, the type that brings luck, health, and blessings. A kitchen that welcomes multiple cooks is also a clear symbol of abundance. It shows a family that is not lacking space, not lacking light, and not lacking harmony. A kitchen that feels cramped in energy makes people want to cook quickly and leave. But a kitchen that is bright, clean, and open invites people to stay, just like a fire always wants more wood to burn stronger. Feng Shui teaches that where sharing happens, yang energy gathers, and where yang energy gathers, wealth sticks, just like morning dew clinging to a leaf. The kitchen is the only place in a home that can naturally generate this energy through the act of cooking. A kitchen like that does not just make better meals. It plants a seed of peace into the family. A peace that is quiet, not showy, but deeply present every time the family gathers at the table. That is why in Feng Shui, peace is considered the strongest foundation for lasting prosperity. Number 3. A clean refrigerator with clear organization. The refrigerator is seen as a miniature wealth vault, storing the energy that nourishes the entire household. Food is what enters our bodies every day, so the condition of the fridge clearly reflects the orderliness of the home and the stability of its energy field. A neat, clean, and well-organized refrigerator is a strong sign of a family that values discipline and routine. On the other hand, a fridge full of forgotten items, unlabeled food, or bags pushed from one week to the next generates stagnant energy, a quiet but powerful form of negativity that affects emotions. A cluttered fridge also makes people feel overwhelmed every time they open it. The visual chaos can confuse the mind, reduce focus, and even cause fatigue before cooking even starts. In daily life, your mental state while interacting with food is crucial because the cook's energy transfers directly into the meal. When the fridge becomes a storage unit for old food, a hotspot for negative energy begins to form. Food that sits too long not only loses nutrients, but emits cold, stale, and heavy energy, the opposite of the vibrant yang energy a healthy kitchen needs. Faint smells in the fridge, moisture from wilting vegetables, or forgotten containers all blend into an invisible cloud of negative energy. Some families wonder why cooking makes them feel heavy, uninspired, or sluggish after meals. Yet the cause is right there in the fridge they open every day. Prosperous households tend to follow a clear habit. They do not keep expired food, they do not leave it for later, and they avoid hoarding. Each food type has its place. Vegetables with vegetables, cooked food completely separate from raw, drinks stored where they are easy to see, and perishable items placed in priority spots so they are not forgotten. Their refrigerators are always bright, dry, and clean, not for display, but to maintain the order of the energy flow. In Feng Shui, order is the clearest sign of strong yang energy, and an organized fridge is the heart of that order. The good news is that refreshing your refrigerator does not require much effort. The 10 minutes a day method is the simplest way to create major change. On the first day, clean the top shelf, usually where the oldest containers pile up. On the second day, clean the vegetable drawer, where moisture and forgotten greens tend to collect. On the third day, tackle the freezer, often home to bags of food no one remembers. Bit by bit, day by day, the fridge begins to transform. The air feels lighter, light reflects more clearly, and everything becomes easier to find and use. This change is not just physical. When the fridge feels bright and organized, the person cooking feels in control. In Feng Shui, this feeling of control is the root of wealth, because only when the mind is clear and orderly can decisions about food, money, cooking, and caregiving be made wisely and in harmony. Number 4. Equip your kitchen with tools that make you want to cook. A kitchen with strong energy does not only come from its space or lighting, but from how the cook feels when touching the cooking tools. Prosperous families do not choose their kitchen utensils randomly. Their tools are always clean, sharp, sturdy, and inviting to use. This is not a coincidence. In Feng Shui, the positive feeling when touching an object is seen as a way to activate yang energy, powerful and highly effective. Knives are the clearest example of this. A dull knife not only makes cutting difficult, it causes hand movements to become awkward and disjointed. And when movements are disjointed, the mind follows. It becomes impatient, easily irritated, and turns cooking into a chore instead of a joy. On the other hand, a sharpened knife lets your hand glide through food like slicing through flowing water. That fluid motion clears the mind and restores emotional balance. In Feng Shui, smooth movement symbolizes unobstructed yang energy, and a sharp knife is a tool that activates that flow. The frying pan is another source of energy. A good pan, sturdy, evenly heated, helps food cook beautifully, without sticking, burning, or releasing unpleasant smoke. When a dish looks good right in the pan, the cook naturally feels deeply satisfied. Each time the pan is stirred, positive energy is activated. This small feeling builds meal by meal, just like yang energy grows and strengthens over time. In contrast, a warped, heavy, or peeling non-stick pan not only creates frustration, but also gives off bad energy. The feeling of difficult, unpleasant, or imperfect. In Feng Shui, these are signs that energy is being blocked. Matching kitchen tools bring an entirely different kind of energy. When spoons, cutting boards, spice jars, and storage racks are all clean, orderly, and harmonized, the kitchen becomes a space of natural order. Every time a drawer is opened and everything is in its place, the cook feels like stepping into a room that is ready to welcome good energy. This order soothes the eyes, calms the mind, and smooths every action. When things are just right, the cook's mood lifts. And in Feng Shui, emotion is one of the strongest catalysts for attracting prosperous energy. A cook's positive energy is transferred directly into the food, not in some mystical sense, but in a very real way. A happy cook seasons more mindfully, chooses better ingredients, and presents the food with care. Meals filled with good energy create a more harmonious family atmosphere. In Feng Shui, harmony at the dinner table is considered a kind of blessing, just as important as wealth. A kitchen with good tools not only makes cooking easier, it also maintains a positive and steady mental state. The cook feels inspired to try new dishes, improve meals, and enjoy the process. When the kitchen becomes a space of creativity instead of stress, the entire household benefits. Number 5. Get rid of expired spices. The spice area is often seen as the soul corner of the kitchen, where flavors are stored that determine the quality of every dish. Yet it is also the most commonly neglected space. Jars of seasoning used once and forgotten, half-open sauces pushed to the back of the shelf, and bottles of oil opened months ago gradually turn this area into a blind spot. According to Feng Shui, expired items, unused objects, or anything with unknown origins become points of negative energy, small zones that are strong enough to cloud the entire energy flow of the kitchen. Negative energy in the spice area does not appear all at once. It starts with a little greasy residue around a bottle's mouth, a sticky lid, or a jar that has lost its smell after sitting too long. Slowly, these signs create a kind of stagnant energy, like a part of the air has stopped moving. This is especially harmful because spices are stored right where food is prepared, a zone that should be full of freshness, motion, and life. When this space becomes stuck, it goes against everything yang energy represents. Many families with strong traditions place great value on their spice area. They never keep faded labels, scentless jars, or opened oil that has sat too long. They believe stale spices weaken the energy of a dish, and in reality, according to Feng Shui, food with dull energy pulls down the cook's energy as well, making the meal lack balance, emotion, and the fullness that family dining should bring. Meanwhile, other households tend to stock up on spices with a buy now, use later mentality, turning the spice area into a mess. Unidentified bottles, untouched jars that have sat for years, or oils that have changed color, all clear signs that the energy in the kitchen is beginning to stagnate. Sometimes just glancing at a cluttered, greasy, outdated spice shelf is enough to know the energy is at a low point. Spices are the soul of a meal. When that soul is replaced with staleness, the food loses its freshness and yang energy. This quietly affects the cook's emotions, lowered mood, reluctance to cook, or the sense that everything feels like a hassle. Not because they dislike cooking, but because the surrounding energy is weighing them down. The simplest way to restore harmony is to clean the spice area. First, throw out expired items without hesitation. Then, remove anything you no longer remember buying, cannot identify, or that has lost its scent. When these useless items are gone, the area feels freed, as if a layer of heavy energy has been lifted. Afterward, reorganize the spices into a clear, clean, visible arrangement, each jar in its own spot, each spot with a clear purpose. This clarity makes cooking feel smooth and intentional. When the cook reaches for a spice and sees everything neat and bright, it feels like a new wave of energy has arrived. As empty spaces start to appear between spice jars, that is when yang energy finds room to return. Clean gaps are where good energy loves to rest and gather. The more open the space, the clearer the airflow, and the lighter the cook's mood. Number 6. Optimize lighting and ventilation. Lighting and air are often overlooked, yet they have the strongest influence on a kitchen's energy field. A dark, damp space with steam buildup or poor airflow can feel cramped and heavy, even if it is clean. In Feng Shui, such kitchens are places where yang energy cannot circulate. When energy is stuck, the cook's own energy drops, leading to frustration, fatigue, or impatience during meals. In contrast, kitchens in prosperous homes are often filled with natural sunlight during the day and bright white-light emitting diode lights at night. Strong, clear lighting makes cooking areas feel cleaner, more spacious, and more inviting. When light fills the space evenly, the room comes alive, activating strong yang energy, the kind that sustains stability and abundance. Good airflow is just as important as good lighting. A kitchen can be bright, but still feel stuffy if there is no air movement. Opening windows daily or turning on ventilation fan to push out stale air is a simple but highly effective way to refresh the space. A kitchen with natural airflow always feels cooler, lighter, and more pleasant. The complete opposite of a suffocating closed-up kitchen. Condensation on walls, stoves, or glass is a clear sign of trapped energy. When moisture cannot escape quickly, it creates a perfect environment for negative energy to settle. Kitchens like this often make the cook irritable, prone to mistakes, or uninspired. There are many ways to improve this. Wipe down windows regularly to allow more light in. Replace dim bulbs with bright light-emitting diode lights. Use a high-quality range hood to remove moisture and grease. A small but important tip: do not block windows or light sources with objects. When the path of light is blocked, the flow of yang energy is also interrupted. When lighting and air reach balance, yang energy is activated powerfully. Meals become tastier because the cook feels relaxed. The home feels warmer and more comfortable, as if the kitchen is breathing in rhythm with the entire house. In Feng Shui, this is one of the key factors that helps wealth stay and not slip away. When looking back at everything we have explored, one truth becomes clear. The energy of a kitchen is never just about objects or daily habits. Every small movement in that space, the way a fridge door opens, the sound of a knife on a cutting board, sunlight passing through a window, or the cook's mood, all come together to form the unique rhythm of a home. And that rhythm decides whether a family experiences peace, abundance, or struggle. The kitchen always holds the fire, but it also holds the energy. When the energy is thriving, life flows smoothly. When it is balanced, the heart is calm, and so is the home. A small change made each day can brighten the space, lift the mood, and soften the dynamics between family members. Something people often overlook until they feel the shift for themselves. What matters most is not how the kitchen is decorated, but how you choose to nurture its energy. When the kitchen is cared for with mindfulness, order, light, and a bit of joy during each meal, it becomes the strongest source of positive energy in the entire home. From there, luck, health, and prosperity do not need to be chased. They naturally find their way back. And if you would like to open a new wave of good energy in your kitchen right now, leave a powerful yet gentle affirmation in the comments below. My home is getting brighter every day. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button to keep uncovering mysterious Feng Shui stories. Small secrets with the power to shift the energy of an entire home. Sometimes, the things we cannot see are exactly what shape the destiny of a family.